But let's go ahead and move on to the last ish
Ooh,
topic of the day.
ooh,
Sony
ooh.
acquires Bungie for $3.6 billion. And this comes like a week, literally a week after the acquisition of Activision Blizzard by Microsoft. So that's why, it's just kind of a little funny. It's like, all right, well, you guys like, I understand that these are like talks that you guys have had, out, you have 6 months, 8 months, whatever, a year of talking, but like, did you guys already pull this trigger and you're just letting them know now, or is it like, hey, the time is up on this? We got to make this move. So I'm gonna offer you 3.6. You know what I mean? No counters, just accept the shit. But
Yeah, definitely. This feels like, okay, we're going to give you all you wanted. We're going to give you what the price you're asking. We're going to let you stay independent so you can develop all the games you want the way you want to develop them. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're going to agree to everything because we just need this now. That's what it feels like. Because it's really weird because there literally is nothing different. Supposedly, from all I'm reading, there's nothing different occurring here. Bungie is going to be like basically independent. So all it felt like when we first heard this was Sony just buying something for a revenue source, kind of like what they did with Crunchyroll. Like there just was no benefit or anything to the gamer or the consumer. This was just them buying it to give us an announcement, but there's no like excitement here. We will learn a little bit more coming on the show, but what I wanted to ask you is, like, what was your first thought or like your first impression about this purchase when you heard it? What did you think or feel?
at first I was kind of like, well, I mean, Bungie's a good studio, but they don't really have a lot going for them. You're getting like one game, maybe like two games or something like that. Like, what's the purpose of purchasing this company? You know what I mean? That you would spend so much on it and not, go for something else or whatever. I mean, if I'm sure there's other ones that they've been looking at, but like, what's the reason why you chose Bungie? And I was thinking like, okay, maybe there's like some game that they had that they pitched them that they were like, okay, yeah, that's gonna be big. Like, we want a piece of that. We want you guys to be part of the family or something. Or maybe they were trying to do something else. I don't know. But it's just like the only thing I can think that Bungie has done as of recently is just Destiny. You know what I mean? And it's a great game, but it's been out for like a long time, and they keep trying to make their money off of it by adding these little expansions and shit. But is that really worth like the 3.6 billion that you guys paid them? You know what I mean? But
Yeah, so like my first thought, man, it's funny enough, it's kind of like was almost like a from a strictly consumer perspective. Like whenever it's funny because we haven't really heard a Sony acquisition in a long time. Like the last one we heard, I think was Blue Point, and it's not like that exciting.
that was last year, right? Like, so
Yeah, that was last year. I think we heard Blue Point was purchased, and we're like, oh, that's cool, whatever. But when Microsoft announces an acquisition, I get all giddy and excited because I know that every single game
it's
that they
coming to
act
you.
is coming to Game
Day one.
Pass.
Yeah.
So it's like very, very consumer excitement, right? Like as a consumer, I get legitimately excited because it's like, oh, dude, Bethesda, that's so cool. I know now every single game they release is going to be day one Game Pass, and that gets like me very excited. It's like sweet, it's like a score. It's like we score when Microsoft scores, we score.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when Sony buys a developer like Bungie here, my first thought was like, well, what does that do? I still have to buy the game. I still have to invest in the expansions. I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting anything from this. This is nothing for me. This is just like for Sony, what does this do for me? And that's really how I felt like when I initially saw this because like you said, I've played Destiny. I put like hundreds of hours into it. I'm not trying to go back and play it again. This is not exciting for me.
Yeah.
What do we get here? And so that's kind of like how I felt.
Yeah, and I mean, Destiny being on Game Pass for the limited amount of time that it was, you know what I mean? That was cool because it was like, okay, I get to try out like, a new expansion or whatever for free. Mm-hmm. And I had character migration. So I literally don't have to like rework everything from ground zero because I only played it on the PlayStation. So that was cool and whatnot.
Mm-hmm,
but
totally.
yeah, you're right. It's like because it's not they don't have any free service where they're giving everything out. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, well, I guess, the only thing that I'm gonna really care about is the games that they produce from now on that are gonna be like, PlayStation exclusives or something like that. Like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
But
such a trip, bro, because it's so weird. It's like the strangest thing. Like imagine Sony came out tomorrow and they announced they're gonna buy like Capcom, right? And you're like, oh cool, all the Resident Evils, all these games they own now. But it's not exciting because it doesn't change anything for us as the consumer. All it does is make Sony more money. It
yeah,
doesn't do anything for me. So all it does is fuel the console war. All it does, the only thing you might get out of it is like, oh, cool, my team was winning. My team got something more. But it doesn't actually do anything more for you. But when Microsoft buys something, it does. And it made me think, like, dude, in my opinion, man, I think buying video games is antiquated. Like it's gonna be a thing of the past, man, buying video games. I think it's gonna be eventually subscription services. There's no such thing as buying a game anymore. Like I'm not excited about Sony buying Capcom or Sony buying Bungie. I'm not excited to buy a game from them. Like, but
yeah.
I am excited to add more to my library, or when Netflix announces a new series, I know that I get to partake in it immediately. It's not like this. It's
And that
weird.
those will be there forever. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they remove any of the games that they actually
Or first
own.
party. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
the
They don't.
actual first party things, I don't think they ever leave. So it's like you'll always have that option to play that, A Netflix series will always be there for you to check out. It's not like, oh, you got like a limited time or whatever to enjoy it, 6 months or a year or something like that. So,
Yeah, it's
but
like
yeah,
the
I mean, yeah, when you
ultimate. It's like the ultimate win-win, right?
yeah,
Like
it's like, okay, you bought it, and that's cool and all. So I'm looking forward to like the games you guys talk about and stuff. And all I can think about is like the level of quality that PlayStation Studios provides you, and that everything that they should provide us should be held to that same caliber. So they won't be dropping no bullshit anytime soon. I'm hoping. You know what I mean? Because
right,
I have yet to receive just some bullshit from PlayStation in a long time. Even
right.
if it seemed like bullshit to me, it was gold for somebody else. So that's just the way it goes. But yeah. I mean, you're definitely right. I kind of feel like it's like, oh, okay, cool. It's not like as extreme as buying like Activision and Blizzard, um, but and then it also takes some of the. And you'll have to tell me if you agree or not. But it also takes some of the power from it when they're gonna operate the same as they've always done it. If there's like, oh, there's not exclusives, it's all gonna be multi-plat. So okay, so nothing changed then. So this is gonna be available here, there, everywhere.
Yeah, I
So
was
it
totally.
really doesn't make any difference. It's like, oh, okay, you guys picked up something else, cool.
I agree, man.
Hopefully it
Like
was worth it.
when I saw it, I was like, you're not gonna give PlayStation buyers anything unique now. Like not even a skin, like nothing, huh? Because Bungie was like so adamant. They were like, no, our experience is going to be the same across all platforms, across all players. It's like,
Something
well
is
then,
gonna be
well then,
exclusive.
what is the point? What is
Yeah,
the point if you're a PlayStation owner to be excited about this? You get nothing additional here. Like it's the weirdest purchase
yeah.
until we go to our next story. Then we learn a little bit more.
Yeah. And
But
then, it's like, okay, if you think about like Microsoft purchasing Activision and Blizzard, and they're basically not going to change anything that they've been doing. They're supposed to carry business as usual. But it's like, okay, but their game, at least we're assuming that their game should be day one on Game Pass. So that's the difference here, is that you'll get it for free if you have Game Pass.
right,
But other
you're
than
going
that,
to get that.
it's business as usual with being on every other console and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. That's like the ooh, you know what I mean? Of that. It's like, oh shit, like you get COD for free 99 now. You don't have to buy that, so that's always gonna be there. So you no longer should have, just Warzone. You can actually play the newest COD and don't have to pay a damn dime. So the only thing that'll be competing against COD now is Battlefield, and what else? Halo multiplayer. But
And
now
kind of
Halo
Destiny
multiplayer,
and
yeah, and kind
Destiny.
of Destiny. Yeah, but Halo multiplayer is now going to have competition with COD. You know what I mean? I'm just wondering when they are going to bring COD to Game Pass, because they haven't yet. But
No, well,
at
it's
least I
like
don't think.
they don't acquire them until the summer. Officially acquire them to the summer, so you're
Oh,
probably
okay.
going to
So
see the
paperwork
transition.
ain't dry until the summer. So yeah,
Right.
so
So you'll
I'm thinking
probably
this
see.
summer you'll get that new influx of all the
Right.
Activision shit that's in there. So that's gonna be good.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So exactly. Like when I saw this, my first thought was like, because I saw Bungie say no, all their games they can continue to release on multi-platform. I was like, okay, well then there's going to be some kind of timed exclusive, right? Like you get
Yeah.
it a month early on PlayStation.
Mhm.
No, you're going to get the same exact experience. I'm like, really? Like what is it here that we as gamers should be excited about? And
Well,
like
I
three
mean,
point
so
six billion dollars for like an immense like one game. I was like,
yeah,
is Destiny worth that? It's crazy.
but I mean, like throughout Destiny's lifespan, right? They've always had a great rapport with PlayStation, and they've always made deals with them to give them like an exclusive weapon or something like that. Some type of an emblem or something that you get for being a PS Plus guy or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that they'll probably have these, but maybe in an abundance, like a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like two or three guns instead of just one gun. You know what I mean? Maybe I mean you can move on to the next one. They announced that that they have another game in the works that they're coming out with. So maybe there's gonna be some more PlayStation exclusive stuff for that new game. Um, instead. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It sounds like there's not. They seem very adamant that there's nothing, zero, zilch. Everything's going to be equitable across all systems. So I don't know. It's
Yeah.
very strange.